6 seconds. That is exactly how long Elian has before this burning rope gives way, dropping him into a chasm of blue fire. Jump back 12 hours. Elian is a master thief who operates entirely alone, and he is deep inside a forgotten temple to steal its legendary centerpiece, the heart of the mountain crystal. He moves with absolute certainty, bypassing the temple's ancient, lethal outer defenses without breaking a sweat or needing a single piece of outside help. But this diagram shows exactly what happens the moment he lifts the crystal from its pedestal. The temple doesn't collapse. It perfectly seals itself, locking down concentric rings of solid blast doors from the outside in. He realizes too late that the vault is actually a massive ancient quarantine zone. His strict reliance on working completely isolated has suddenly become his absolute greatest vulnerability. Elian attempts a brute force exit, planting high-yield explosives directly onto the first heavy quarantine door blocking his path. The detonation clears the door, but the shockwave fractures the structural foundation beneath his feet, dropping him straight into a hidden subterranean river. The anomaly of this underground ecosystem hits him immediately. The water does not obey gravity. It violently rushes upwards toward the top of the cavern. The massive anti-gravity current grips him instantly, threatening to drag his body straight up and crush him against the jagged rock stalactites covering the ceiling. His straightforward explosive solution actively weaponized the bizarre physics of the environment against him. Pinned near the ceiling, he slams into Kira, a fiercely competitive rival treasure hunter who is caught in the exact same chaotic updraft. With the water level rapidly rising to crush them against the stone, they instantly abandon their bitter rivalry to pool their remaining resources. Kira deploys her specialized mechanical climbing gear, allowing them both to rapidly scale the few remaining dry sections of the cavern wall. But the sharp, rhythmic clanking of the metal gear vibrates deep into the stone. The noise awakens a dormant swarm of mechanized sentinels embedded directly in the rock face. As the sentinels detach and swarm, Elian pulls out the heart of the mountain crystal, utilizing its intensely bright, raw energy to blind the optical sensors of the approaching machines. Look at this flowchart mapping what systems engineers call cascading failure. Elian's initial explosion branches out to cause the flood and awaken the sentinels, which then triggers an exponentially larger chain of red threat notes. Every localized solitary fix they attempt immediately generates a much deadlier systemic problem. The intense burst of raw light from the crystal sparks an aggressive chemical reaction with the surrounding cavern moss, filling the air with a thick, hallucinogenic gas. They scramble to strap on filtration masks, but the potent gas has already driven the cavern's massive subterranean predators into a violent hunting frenzy. Just as the massive beasts close in, a stranded engineer named Vance pulls them onto a high ridge and fires up an ancient, heavy-duty defensive perimeter machine to hold the creatures back. This cross-section shows the fatal flaw of Vance's rescue. The machine requires colossal energy, drawing power through geothermal taps linked to a dormant magma chamber below. The sudden energy draw destabilizes the crust, violently waking the volcano and creating a ticking time bomb. By combining their highly specialized skills, the trio survived the immediate localized threats. However, those combined actions have now triggered a total, unavoidable environmental collapse. It becomes a chaotic sprint through the crumbling ruins of the ancient underground city as molten lava actively consumes the floor steps behind them. Their only exit point is a massive pair of blast doors built to seal the volcanic vent, and the heavy metal plates are already sliding shut. They hit a brutal mechanical bottleneck. The locking mechanism isn't automated. It requires a person to physically hold down a heavy release lever on the inside of the doors to keep the exit open. For Elian, this triggers an agonizing internal conflict. His deeply ingrained lone wolf instinct screams at him to shove past the others and escape alone, yet his survival up to this exact moment has relied entirely on keeping his team alive. The labyrinth's final hurdle forces a brutal psychological choice. Surviving the system demands destroying the individual ego to ensure the collective escapes. Elian executes a lateral, rule-breaking solution. He grabs the priceless heart of the mountain crystal and drives it directly into the heavy iron gears, intentionally wedging the mechanism open with his ultimate prize. The intense pressure fractures the gem. Elian, Kira, and Vance dive through the narrowing gap a fraction of a second before the crystal shatters completely and the heavy doors slam shut. Beneath their feet, the ground violently implodes. The ancient temple, the deadly trap, and all its untold riches are completely swallowed into the earth. Elian looks over Akira and Vance. They are penniless, heavily battered, and entirely alive. True survival in a complex, unpredictable environment is never achieved through isolated perfection. It requires the messy, chaotic resilience you only get when you rely on the people you never expected to need.